In the last episode of our trip to Southwest Florida, we were in North Fort Myers and we got to take a tour at Echo Global Farm. We learned about all the awesome things that they're doing all over the world to help people to be able to grow their own food and to support themselves financially. And then we headed up to Sarasota. We stayed at an Airbnb there, and then we went into downtown Sarasota to check out the area. And Patrick decided that since this was one of our unplanned days, he wanted to get a little bit more beach time.
So don't let the weight of the world slow you down. And if you search for the meaning of life, it won't be found. So take your insecurities and leave them all behind. Let's learn to make the most of our time. Of our time.
When we were eating breakfast that morning, we were talking to a local, and they recommended that we check out Siesta Key. So we headed towards Siesta Key, but being that it was still kind of the winter season, it was very busy, and we drove around the public parking area for at least 45 minutes, and then we finally just got frustrated and paid for private parking so that we could just get to the beach and enjoy the time that we had. Siesta Key was beautiful. It has this very soft, fine, almost white sand, and there was plenty of room on the beach. The only thing was, in March, the water was still kind of cold. Patrick went in for a dip, but there was no way I was going in. But we still had to figure out the detail of where we were going to sleep that night. These were the 2 nights that we did not book ahead of time, and we were just going to kind of wing it and see what happened. So we were debating back and forth of exactly what we wanted to do.
I'm not really hungry.
No, I'm not hungry. We officially did our beach thing. We were there for just about 3 hours. Got sand everywhere. It's beautiful soft sand, but it sticks to everything. It's all over the place. It's in my hair. I don't know why it's in my hair, but it's in my hair. So now we are going to the fancy hotel. Tonight, Patrick decided that this was going to be our fancy night, which we will usually do once on every trip. So we're heading back toward the mainland to go to our hotel and hopefully get all the sand out. One of the interesting things that I figured out about traveling in Florida around the winter is that it is extremely hard to find campsites, especially ones that are in really high demand locations like the Florida Keys. You have to book them way in advance, and we didn't plan this trip that far ahead, so I was really struggling to find places that we could camp. So Patrick finally won over when we were eating breakfast here at the Serving Spoon and debating what to do that night. He decided to go on his phone and book us a night in a rather fancy hotel in downtown Sarasota, pretty close to the waterfront. And I had to give in because it had a hot tub, and that's one of the things that we absolutely love to do when we're traveling. We do one night in a nicer hotel and spend a little bit of time in the hot tub, which is nice to recover, especially if we've been doing a lot of hiking or walking around. It's just like a nice little treat.
This is where it's going.
Hotel Indigo left.
Okay, Indigo.
No geez. There's pillars.
Oh, there's pillars. Good thing there's pillars.
Yeah, can we not valet? Because it's going to be a whole situation.
I don't think I have to.
Okay. I like to self-park like poor people.
Yeah, kind of right. Okay. Yeah. Any suggestions?
What do you guys like to do? Because we have shops, restaurants, boats.
We're on the second floor?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the smaller buildings in the area. There's a lot of high rises.
A lot of construction going on.
A lot of construction. Interesting area.
Yeah, this is the. Well, he said go to Main Street. I'm really a fan of the boutique places, like hotels.
A little
and
different.
Stuff. Yeah, they're usually smaller, easier to get to your room.
Yeah.
No valet.
I know. I was like, oh god, if there's valet.
Sometimes you get stuck because it's like up right on the main road. You pull in, say Philly.
Yeah.
You have to valet because it's just like a.
Oh yeah, and you have to get out right then and there.
Yeah.
Our stuff is scattered.
Yep.
All over the car.
I don't know. Yeah.
It would have been bad.
I'm like, hold on, I gotta put my bag together. Yeah.
Think they'll let you in like that?
Sure.
All right, let's try.
Feel pregnant.
Every time we actually stay in a nicer hotel, I feel so out of place, especially as we're walking in with our camping equipment and our backpacks, and we may or may not have had a shower in the last 24 hours, but it still ends up being a highlight of our trip. Really, that whole idea of creating contrast in your trip makes everything more memorable. It smells good.
That's $20 off the bat.
That's $20.
No.
All right, don't drink the water.
Nah, it comes with it.
Oh, okay. It's nice.
Yeah, very nice. As advertised.
The room was very nice, and we were excited to have a super comfortable bed and a giant shower, and to not have that kind of social pressure that you feel when you're staying at an Airbnb. But you hear the beeping in the background. If you look right outside the window of our room, there's a crane, an enormous crane right there. It's a comfy looking bed.
Yeah.
Not so great on the view. We have a construction zone and a crane. That is a heavy duty crane.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh, wow. That is a shower. And it's a little stool.
Yeah.
That's really nice. A fridge? It looks like a wine fridge. Coffee. That makes me so happy. I don't know, none of these maps say like you are here, so it's very disorienting.
We can up here. I can just get my phone.
Whole Foods. That could be good dinner. Yeah, so all those roads right there were all detoured.
Yeah.
With
Keep
construction.
that in mind next time, yeah.
A lot of construction on the waterfront.
Yeah.
Since tonight was our fancy night of the trip, staying in a nice hotel, we decided to walk toward downtown Sarasota so that we could have our fancy meal of the trip. And of course, since it was very nice weather, we wanted to try to find somewhere with outdoor dining. We'd been stuck inside all winter, and we were trying to enjoy the warm Florida weather as much as possible. This way?
Yeah.
walked up and down the street several times. I think we were kind of overwhelmed by the number of choices because there are just a ton of restaurants in this area and they all looked so good. But we eventually picked one that had really good reviews and it seemed to be pretty busy, so we figured it was a good one to try. What is it?
I don't know.
Oh, I think it's swordfish. Okay. After we finished an awesome dinner, we decided to keep walking down the main street, and we found this bar where they had live music and so many people were dancing, and they were amazing dancers. It was like the best kind of entertainment to watch these people dancing and having an awesome time. Kind of made us want to take dance lessons and come back and join them one day. Here we are. Not sleeping on the ground tonight?
We're not sleeping on the ground.
You're sleeping on the ground.
That's on.
Thanks for coming along for this part of our trip. And don't worry, we are going to eventually get back to camping.
Well, you worried about you and me, the injustice, the next president to be, the news and what you hear, your career. It's time for you to face those fears, and it's all fair to be aware, and I'll be there, so don't be scared. Just take a deep breath of air